right, looks like we have a majority of folks in from the waiting room. So we do want to go ahead and welcome you to today's session here with the Illinois Department of Innovation and Technology. We will be holding a about hour-long virtual job fair with our presenter here that we do have on the line, Jason. Just to give you folks an idea of what the flow of today's event is going to look like. Once we get through our housekeeping here, I'm going to turn things over to Jason to give you all a brief kind of introductory presentation about the organization, if you will. Once he works his way through that presentation, we will be holding a Q&A session at the end. So any questions that you have for Jason while he goes through his presentation throughout the event, feel free to throw those into the meeting chat. You should see that in your Zoom toolbar. Additionally, again, once we reach the end of his presentation, we'll go ahead and answer any questions in the order that we receive them. After that, we'll give a brief kind of wrap-up statement, if you will, and then we will close out the session here today. So prepare your questions, and without further ado, we're going to go ahead and turn things over to Jason. Jason, feel free to take things away.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jason Thorne. I'm the recruitment officer for the Illinois Department of Innovation and Technology. Also joining me today is Nikki Howlett, and she is a recruiter, and she will be monitoring our chat window. So as those questions come in, she will be answering any questions that you might have, or we might save some of those and hold them over till the end if it's something that might be beneficial for everybody in the group. So, but good afternoon and welcome. So, we're glad that you joined us to learn more about our agency and some of the opportunities that exist with the state of Illinois. DoIT's mission is to empower the state of Illinois through high-value, customer-centric technology by delivering best-in-class innovation to clients, agencies, fostering collaboration, and empowering employees to provide better services to residents, businesses, and also our visitors. Our vision is for a more efficient, accessible, competitive, and compassionate Illinois is being realized. The state of Illinois digital transformation is playing a key role by delivering best-in-class innovation and technology, which is fostering collaboration, empowering state agencies to provide better services to our residents, and maximizing the value of taxpayer resources. So DoIT came into existence in 2018 after breaking off from Central Management Services, which they were a division of the Bureau of Communications and Computer Services. DoIT is charged with delivering statewide technology, innovation, and telecommunication services to state agencies, boards, and commissions, as well as policy and standard development, life cycle investment planning, and enterprise solutions and privacy and security management. We also manage the Illinois Century Network, which provides networking for many schools, libraries, museums, local governments around the state of Illinois. I like to think of it as the 3 S's and break it down simplistically. The easiest way to describe this is support, security, and also strategy within the state of Illinois. Our agency provides support to other agencies, whether that be in human capital with IT professionals, or a computer system to support their operation. We also provide security to prevent cybersecurity attacks and protect against the identity theft of individuals in the state. Our agency is constantly looking at strategy as technology changes and adapts to the ever-changing technology landscape we see. During COVID-19, we quickly transformed so many different platforms over to useful apps and automated systems to be more electronic, so there were no business disruptions for the state of Illinois residents. Our headquarters are located at 120 West Jefferson Street here in Springfield. However, we also have an office located in the Chicagoland area. We also have individuals scattered around the state of Illinois with the agencies we serve. Approximately 80% of our staff are located in Springfield. So first, let's take a quick look at some of the benefits for working for the state of Illinois. We have great benefits when it comes to group insurance. There are HMOs, OAPs, and also PPOs. We also have a consumer-driven healthcare plan, and we even have options for a health savings account. One important thing that stands out to me is our health, vision, and dental. We have no waiting periods. This means you have health insurance benefits on the first day of employment. In addition, the state of Illinois also offers to you a no cost to you life insurance plan that is equal to your annual salary. From a work-life balance, our work week looks like 37.5 hours. We have around 13 paid holidays each year, and new employees can earn up to 10 paid vacation days in their first year of employment. New employees may start with as many as 3 personal paid days, and that is, of course, dependent upon your start date. Employees also earn 12 sick days per calendar year, and that time accrues monthly. We have flexible work schedules, and we also have 10 weeks of paid maternity or paternity leave. As a state employee, you will also pay into the state retirement systems, or SERS, for your pension. This pension will pay monthly at retirement and has survivor benefits. We also offer deferred compensation, which is a supplemental retirement program for state employee contributions to the plan that can be made on a pre-tax basis through salary deferments. The state of Illinois provides employees with IRS tax-favored flex savings accounts to stretch your medical expenses and dependent care dollars. Optimum Financial is the plan administrator for our FSA plan. We also offer a commuter savings program, which is administered through Edmund. It's an optional benefit that gives employees eligible benefits the opportunity to use tax-free dollars to pay out-of-pocket work-related community and/or parking expenses. This benefit allows employees to lower their taxable income and increase disposable income. So let's take a quick look at our flex savings and some of our optional pre-tax programs that we have. An HSA, which is administered through PayFlex, is like a 401k to healthcare. Yet an HSA tax benefit is far greater. It is a tax-favored, interest-bearing account that active state employees can use to pay for qualified medical expenses now or in the future. We also have an MCAP, or a medical care assistance program. This allows members to pay eligible out-of-pocket medical, dental, prescription, and vision expenses incurred during the year at with tax-free dollars. The maximum contribution currently is about $3,000 roughly. We also offer a dependent care assistance plan, or DCAP, which allows members to pay eligible child and/or adult daycare expenses incurred during the plan year of tax-free dollars. The maximum contribution per year is $5,000. So let's take a look at some of the additional benefits with the state of Illinois. We also have Be Well. This program was designed to not only focus on supporting our physical health, but also our mental, financial, and social well-being. As a wellness plan member, you can utilize a website to access health plan information and educational resources, including wellness webinars, monthly health awareness causes, financial wellness, healthy eating, and also exercise. The EAP, or Employee Assistance Program, provides a valuable resource for support and information during difficult times. The EAP is free, it's voluntary, and completely confidential program. This program allows for problem identification, counseling, and also referral services for employees and their covered dependents, regardless of their health plan chosen. As you can see, we have many benefits. We also have listed here on the page, we have auto, home, even pet insurance now that's available to you for purchase. In addition, we offer identity theft protection. We even have a couple weight loss programs that's available to state of Illinois employees. So great benefits is basically in a nutshell. Lastly, there are a few educational benefits I believe that are worth mentioning. To be eligible for the PSLF program, which is the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, you must be employed by the government, have direct loans, and have made 120 qualifying payments. The state also offers tuition reimbursement and has 2 529 college savings plans. We participate in the Bright Directions Advisor Program, which is administered through Union Bank and Trust. This is a program that allows state tuition to be paid for Illinois residents. So now let's take a look at some of our employee programs. At the state of Illinois, you will find diversity enrichment programs for African Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, and also Hispanic. These employment plans work towards building a governmental workforce that more accurately reflects the diversity of our great state. Our agency also participates in the Successful Disability Opportunities Program, which serves as a means to qualifying individuals with disabilities for positions within state government. Under state law, qualified veterans are entitled to points added to their passing grade and appointment preference. The Illinois National Guard receives additional points also based upon this program if you've served a minimum of 4 years. All veterans are required to submit a copy of their DD-214 or DD-215 when applying for a position with the state. The state of Illinois also has the Upward Mobility Program. This is open to certified AFSCME represented employees currently employed with the state who are interested in career advancement and pass in certain targeted titles with the state. Again, employees must be completed through their probationary period and be certified with the state of Illinois. So now let's talk just a little bit about some of the professional development opportunities with the state. So DoIT offers lots of room for growth. That's the great thing about this agency. We have several trainee titles that allow you to join our agency and work your way up. Our senior leadership here at this agency is committed to developing career pathways for associates. So this allows you to get your foot in the door and grow with our agency. The state offers an ongoing professional development through CMS University, which is a web-based continuing education and professional development site to assist state of Illinois employees. Through curated sessions and live events, employees can expand their knowledge or brush up on tools to support their work. In addition, we also have workNet training, which is an on-site computer-based learning system that tracks required courses of employment. Career mobility, or that upward mobility program, or what we like to refer to as the UMP program, is administered jointly through the state's largest labor partner, which is the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, or better known as AFSCME. This program is designed to give state employees an opportunity to advance more challenging, higher paying positions through targeted career counseling and direct paid educational and training programs. Bilingual pay, bilingual skills pay. If you're bilingual and apply for a bilingual position with the state of Illinois, you will be compensated appropriately for that skill set. And lastly, but certainly not least, we are in the process of developing a new DoIT training and development department here at our agency. This position will be focused on strengthening our current employee skill set, which will allow associates to grow with us. Now let's look and talk a little bit about career counseling, which is a great resource through CMS. So state government career counseling is provided through the CMS assessment centers, virtually or by email. Career counseling staff will work with you to evaluate your educational and geographical location to determine the titles that might be the best fit for you. The career counselor will then provide you with a list of potential state position titles for which you might qualify. This is a great resource that can get you headed in the right direction if you're unsure what agency or which title you should be applying for. So today, following this event. If you see titles and positions maybe that are not the quite fit for you, or you don't know about what your background is or where you might fit, this is a great resource to reach out to. And we can definitely share this slide to you, later on, but this is a great resource if you're unsure what you want to do. So now let's talk a little bit about and jump over maybe to our employment page. Our agency website houses all of our postings, or you may choose to utilize the Work for Illinois website for our job postings. At the top, you will click About and select Employment Opportunities. Not only will you find a lot of our postings here, or find all of our postings here, you're going to find information on how to interview and also information on the state of Illinois benefits. We are also in the process of updating this website, so it's going to be changing probably within the next 60 to 90 days. It might have a slight different format to it here sometime soon. The employment page houses our postings, additional information on the hiring process. And again, like I said, we will continue to update this web page with hiring information. There's also documents located on the employment page that outline different options that are available within our information services specialist and also our information systems analyst title. So once you click a position, our website will then redirect you to the Work for Illinois website. The positions listed on the screen, for instance, are option A, the second one there listed, which means application services. You can also find options available in client services, system services, or W, which is web design or web development. For a complete list of our hardware and software, go to our Do It Employment page and click on IT titles and options. That will give you a complete list. On our Do It Employment page, you will find an explanation to the titles and on the options. You will also see what your skill set corresponds with the appropriate position in which you might be applying for. We will take a look at this slide in a few moments, but first let's take a look at one of our postings. So on this posting here, I think I like to point out some of the most important areas. So you'll notice the closing date that's on there on the posting. So all of our postings are posted for a minimum of 10 business days. There is times that we do extend postings, and there are at times that a posting might be longer than 10 days. But what's important to note on our posting is the closing date. So in this case, this posting would have closed at midnight on 12/14 of 22. So closing date, once a position does close, you cannot apply for that position. That is closed. We then would move on to the next step in the hiring process at that point. Something else that's important to note, this position is located in Sangamon County. So any posting that you do click on, it will tell you where that position is housed or what that agency home area is. If there's something in the Chicagoland area, it would be listed as Cook County, Carbondale, Jackson County, Collinsville, Madison County. So just keep an eye on the county portion. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later when it comes to setting up job alerts and things along those lines that can assist you in the process. The next option of importance, or the next item of importance, is the plan and BU. So that is our plan or bargaining unit. So in this case, it's RC63, which is the bargaining unit for this posting. That would identify that this position is an AFSCME position. In the blue letters there, it explains that this is a union position. But I get a lot of questions from time to time. People are asking, what is the plan? What is the BU? That's an external person that's applying for a position. That merely tells you what this role is. So if it was a merit comp position, it might be listed as a gubernatorial appointment, might be listed as a managerial exemption. So underneath that title, it would tell you what type, if it's in the union or out of the union. As we scroll down, and I forwarded on the PowerPoint here, but if we would have scrolled down on that job description or that job posting, the next item of importance is the minimum qualifications. So the yellow star. So if you're looking at a posting, the minimum qualifications would be what is minimally qualified for this position. So in this case, you need 2 years of experience, or 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 years in college or the equivalency of that. So this posting here, if you didn't meet that minimum, you could be disqualified for a posting. So on a posting, you will be asked a question, do you meet the minimum qualifications? And it usually spells that out. If you answer no to the minimum qualification, you will receive within 12 to 24 hours a disqualification email if you don't meet the minimum qualifications. The next item, which is the green star, which is preferred qualifications. These items are not required to apply for a position or will not disqualify you for a position. They are preferences. So in this case scenario, looks like we're requiring elementary knowledge in several different items, but if you meet those items, great. A lot of times on a posting, it will ask you if you meet certain preferred qualifications. And it's merely, we're just trying to gauge what your level of knowledge and what is your level of skill in a certain area to know whether you're proficient or not. Last but not least, down there in the red, which is our conditions of employment. Typically, there is one box on a posting that says, do you meet the conditions of employment when you're applying for a position? So, just to be aware, you can always, look at the job description, make sure that you do meet those. From time to time, we have positions that do require the ability to travel, but you would just need to check over the conditions of employment before clicking that checkbox. So once you find that great position that you want to apply for and you click that position, the next screen that you get is this screen. So if you've not logged in or created a profile on the Work for Illinois, you would need to create an account. At this point, if you've already logged in and created an account and you've applied for positions, you would just log in. Then the system does save your information in there, but if you need to create an account, you would then just log in or create the account. So build your profile with your address, your phone number, your work history, any certifications, licenses, your maybe geographic mobility that you're looking for, resumes or some transcripts that you might have. We want this profile really to tell the story about who you are. So once your profile is complete, next up would be application questions. And again, the more information that you can provide on the profile, sometimes the better, because that information does carry forward. Sometimes it can be less boxes, if you will, to fill out in the application process. So you will complete questions on diversity, disability, and also your veteran status. I know I mentioned your DD 214 and DD 215 earlier. Those questions do come up again when you're applying for a position. Once these questions are answered, you will begin the application process. If you answer yes to questions, you may be required to complete follow-up boxes, which provide detail on how you obtain that knowledge, skills, and abilities by citing examples. And I will tell you, many times I see individuals that put C resume, and we are trying to validate where you obtain those knowledge, skills, and abilities. So I will tell you, please do not put C resume. If I have anything that, today that you obtain from this, is don't put C resume. At least fill out that box. Take the time, even if you need to copy and paste your resume over to that box, that's great, because it prevents our reviewers from having to search on your resume and really try to find, to validate that you have that knowledge, skills, and abilities. So one good takeaway today is to not put that in there. So now let's talk about some additional tips. That's my one tip that I would like to give you for today. So add your information, like I said, on the profile information section. You can always go back and change this. I've had individuals say, oh, I've changed, my phone number's changed, my address has changed. Your profile information, you can change that at any time. Work history section, we just ask for a lot of times just titles and dates in there. If you want to give us additional information, just put that on your resume. Under your documents, you can attach your transcripts, your cover letter, any reference letters that you might have that we might find useful. If the position requires a resume, it will be stated on the posting. And if it states that, you must include a resume at that point. Same thing goes for transcripts. If we have a note on there that we need to see your transcripts, they can be official, they can be unofficial. I know in the beginning they can definitely be unofficial, but if we're asking for it, please make sure that you include that and make sure it's uploaded on your profile. If a position, it goes on to say does not require a resume, it's always a good idea for us to put one on there. It provides us that additional experience and education in the background that you have. Fill out your education section and provide specifics. When applying for jobs, please include your transcripts, any more degree information. A picture is acceptable. We've even had folks take a picture and upload a picture of a degree and place that on the website. That's fine. That helps us validate that you have obtained that degree. Again, transcripts can be unofficial or official. And, kind of the hot thing I know in IT is about certifications and licenses. There's a lot of certifications out there in the IT world. Again, please upload any of those certifications, especially when we have a lot of our degree, a lot of our positions can state bachelor's degree or the equivalency to a bachelor's degree. We have folks that have an associate's degree with about 4 or 6 certifications a lot of times that would qualify them for bachelor's degree positions. So it's very important that you do upload your certification so we can validate those that they are good. And again, veterans, attach that DD-214 or DD-215 to your application. Get a lot of questions on upward mobility. So if you're not a current employee, this does not pertain to you. So you can skip that section. You don't have to check a box or respond to anything in regards to upward mobility. If you're fluent in a second language, please include that under the skills section. And again, under the geographic mobility section, any counties that you're willing to travel to or possibly work in. Applicants must possess the minimum requirements listed. I've mentioned that before. So the minimum requirements or the minimum qualifications for a position, that is what's minimally qualified, and you can get disqualified if you don't meet those minimums. Again, that's not the preferred qualifications. So those are just preferred. So, just pay close attention, if you will, to, the minimum qualifications versus preferred qualifications when you're looking at a posting. Be sure to answer all the questions to the application process. Many times it's a yes or no, and then again, a follow-up box. Just provide as much detail, be detail-oriented, thorough, very truthful, double check your information. And then last but not least, 19 is very important also. Save the posting if you can. So after you have applied for a position, the posting somewhat goes away, if you will, when it closes at 10 days. So if you can save the posting, then you can go back and look at that posting in detail, because once the posting closes, you can't look at that posting again in detail. Only thing that you can see is just the posting number. So if it's a position that you're very interested in, you want to go back and look at minimum qualifications or prepare for an interview, save that posting, copy and paste it over to a Word document, or save it as a PDF and drop it into a folder. It'll help you when you get ready to apply, or get ready to possibly interview for a position. And the number one reason for rejection is just not being able for us to verify work experience or missing that documentation. As you can imagine, important transcripts are important. If we're asking for a resume, we like to see, a resume. Tracking system allows you to create job alerts. I know I mentioned this earlier. So you can set up job alerts for keywords. You can set them up for counties. You can set them up and even agencies. So you can be in the system and set them.
All right, everybody. Looks like, unfortunately, we lost Jason momentarily. So let's give him just a second to rejoin the session here. Hopefully he'll get those connectivity issues resolved. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
So we'll just pick up where job alerts were. It appears that we're having some internet issues here due it this afternoon. I apologize. But job alerts, I'm going to pick up from there. And if anybody has any questions on some of the slides, maybe that hopefully we didn't miss too many, but if we did, feel free to shoot those over in the text chat. So, but you can set up job alerts for keywords, counties, job titles, locations, zip codes, and also you can set them up for agencies, if you will. You can have the emails set up on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You can also run those on demand. You can even edit or delete your alerts. This is a great way to stay on top of any openings with an agency or a geographical location when you're looking for those. So I'm going to just recap a couple of the helpful hints since we went down there for a short while. So not showing screen. Oops. We're going to share the screen here. 1 second. We're having all kinds of fun this afternoon. There we go. So the first step in the application process is creating a candidate profile. To create an account, you will need to read and accept the data privacy statement. You're able to request to receive email notifications for postings that meet your interest. Upload a current resume, which is required for most positions to verify your employment history. Review the posting carefully and completely to ensure that you are prepared to provide all information needed to apply. Don't forget to upload a copy of your college transcripts or your diploma demonstrating educational achievement. Unsubstantiated education will not be considered when evaluating your qualifications. So if you list that on your resume that you have a degree but you don't upload your transcripts, there's no way for us to verify. So again, transcripts are very important. Remember to complete the application questions with concise information by providing as much detail as possible. Do not put "see resume" in those boxes. If you leave here today with any additional information, that's super important to us that you do complete those boxes and don't put "see resume" for us. And if you answered anything that's incorrect or that doesn't meet qualifications, you'll be notified within 12 to 24 hours. And I know that we have a lot of questions that come in from time to time, on the hiring process. Sometimes it takes 4 to 12 weeks in the hiring process before you're alerted. And, sometimes you're thinking, I've not heard from them. That's typical. So usually it's about a 4 to 12 week process because your information goes from here at Do It over to Central Management Services for validation. Then it comes back and it's checked for bargaining unit rights for those individuals that might be looking to make a change within their work unit. So we look at that many times also. So sometimes the process, it can take 4 to 12 weeks before you hear from us. Slides are not advancing now. So if the job is filled internally, no action will be taken on your application and you will receive an email with a disposition. Again, continue to apply for any positions that are open that meet your qualifications and your knowledge, skills, and abilities. If the job is not filled internally, your application will be reviewed. You will receive an email with your next steps. If the title requires an automated exam, you will be contacted by one of our testing centers to arrange a date and time for the testing. These are becoming fewer with the state. There's only about 4 to maybe 8 titles now that require testing. It's something that the state of Illinois is moving away from. And last but not least is always just stay on top of your junk or spam folder. These are the 2 email addresses a lot of times that you get emails from that will be coming from the state of Illinois. So the interview process, we have additional information about the interview process located on our employment page. But if you get an interview with the state, it is a structured, scored interview where you'll be asked open-ended questions. So again, political affiliation, support, or lack thereof cannot be discussed during that interview, as you can imagine. When you do the interview, we do not take your application materials when we rate your response to your interview questions. So assume that we know nothing about you. We will ask the questions in the same order, but we will not clarify or explain or return to a question. So I always tell people, listen to the question. Sometimes there's multiple parts. We need dates, job titles, and we also put the questions, all of our structured interviews are done via WebEx. So we do put those questions in the text chat. So that's there for your convenience, so you can go back and reference them. Again, the most important thing is to highlight your skills, your knowledge, and be very specific in your answers. If you have any questions during the interview process, just always save those until the end. And then at that time, we're happy to answer any questions that you might have. So now let's take a look at some of the positions that DoIT offers. So the data processing technician trainee is for a period of 6 to 12 months. You receive formal instruction and on-the-job training in operating and monitoring and controlling the processing of information through the computerized information systems. This position requires a high school or a GED. Salary for this position is $38,352 to $50,820 per year. So after completing the training program, you will then move on to the standard title of data processing technician. In this role, you'll perform journey level information systems operating and controls, working with controls and operating mainframes, hosts, processors, remote job entry, data entry pooling, and other standalone systems that we utilize here at DoIT. This position requires a high school education or GED. The salary in this role is $41,652 to $56,748. We have a new title that we're getting ready to start here at DoIT, which is the Information Technology Trainee. In this role, you will receive formal instruction and on-the-job training around information technology concepts and practical application, and the service requirements of the state government agencies in which you will be supporting. This position will require years of experience.
And Jason, looks like we did lose you once more, unfortunately.
So the next title is our Information Services Specialist. This position are closely supervised in the beginning with little or no latitude in the choice of your work method. They work in the established guidelines, precedents, practices, and procedures to perform work in either application services, client services, system services, networking, or web development. The minimum qualifications for our ISS title is an associate's degree or the equivalency to an associate's degree. Annual salary is $56,856 to $83,568. The information systems analyst position, they perform more difficult and specialized professional work in IT areas of the same ones. So application services, system services, client services, and which we consider other information technology services around the state. Their work is non-routine, and that general policies and practices and procedures must be applied utilizing new methods devised to frequently changes in technology and situations. The minimum qualifications for this degree or for this title is a bachelor's degree or the equivalency to a bachelor's degree. Annual salary is $70,128 to $105,468. So now let's talk a little bit about those options that I mentioned earlier. So on DoIT postings, you will see the word options. This document is also located on the DoIT employment page. So option A is application services. You will be utilizing specialized skills, but are not limited to education experience in the following development process life cycles. So we just added 2 more to application services, which is Salesforce and ServiceNow. But as you can see on the screen here in front of you, Java, HTML, some of those other, .asp, Active Directory, that would fall underneath application services. So if you see job postings that have option A after them, this could be some of the hardware, software, et cetera, that you would be utilizing under an option A. Option C is our next one. This is Active Directory, NetWare, eDirectory, those networking environments is option C. So client services, client facing, we like to refer to them sometimes as our customer service area for our agencies. Option S, which is system services, be working with Microsoft SQL Server, VMware, SharePoint, file share, things along those lines under option S. Option N is networking. So for anyone that has those Cisco certifications, you many times fall underneath option N. So those Cisco certified designs, network associates, anything that falls underneath Cisco, look for those option N areas. Also voice over IP, video over IP, LAN, any of those, option N would be what you would be looking for. We have a couple postings, at least one posting up right now underneath option N. Option W, which is specialized skills for web design or web development. So, creating web pages, more accessibility for web pages, things along those lines, be looking for the graphic design, things along those lines, be looking at option W job postings. So let's continue on and talk a little bit about some additional things here that we do at DoIT. So DoIT creates an environment that supports diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have an active DEI committee that also promotes DEI events in the local community and the workplace. So we have a committee that is established here. We also publish a DEI calendar of events here at our agency. Our employee portal is our go-to for any happenings at the agency. We have weekly emails that come out from our DoIT communications department that highlights events and happenings here at the agency. So we just celebrated our 5th birthday, anniversary birthday, if you will, just last week. So right now our employee portal is currently full of pictures from some of our birthday celebration that we had here at our agency. In addition, we published, as I mentioned before, a DoIT digest to keep everyone up to date. So it does come out here at our agency on a weekly basis. You'll get an email, but you can also go online and find our DoIT digest on what's going on here at the agency, either at the agency or within the state of Illinois if there's big announcements that's coming out. So if you're ready to join the DoIT team, we currently have several openings. I think we've got 14 altogether that is currently posted. So I know we have a couple option Ns that are out there, a couple option As, I believe, that are out there right now, that's posted on our website. We've got one down in Jackson, Carbondale area, and then I believe all of them right now are located in Sangamon County, but we do have several positions that's open right now. So DoIT is actively, of course, recruiting and trying to fill these positions. We have, I would say, probably on an average of 10 to 15 postings a week. So like I said, and I mentioned earlier, those job alerts are really important because we do continue to post positions here at our agency to help fill some of our IT roles. Hope you found this information helpful. I apologize that we had some of our technical difficulties with some wireless. It appears that our web internet service kept going up and down, but I do apologize for that. My contact information is there on the screen, and also Nicole or Nikki, who is also a recruiter. In our LinkedIn page, we do post quite a bit of information on LinkedIn. We're just starting to share some more additional information on our Facebook page, but do feel free to reach out to myself either by phone or email. I'm happy to talk to individuals that might have questions about positions with our agency, as is Nikki. That's what we're here for. We're here to support anyone that's applying for positions with DoIT. So I will stop kind of presenting at this point, and we will take any questions that we might have from the group or from the text chat.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Jason. And Jason, I'm not sure if you want me to just go ahead and start from the top here as far as questions are concerned.
Yes, that would be fine.
Awesome. And in the meantime, while we get your questions answered, everybody feel free to continue funneling those into the chat, and we will get them over to Jason in order that we receive them. Jason, the first question that I have here, and I apologize if you did cover any of these in your presentation already, but the question is, do you allow 100% remote schedule?
So we are in, so the contract is being finalized with AFSCME and being ratified with AFSCME right now. So currently we are on a 3-2. So we are 3 days remote and 2 days in the office. Soon as we find out, I guess, once that AFSCME contract has been signed and been executed, at that point, we might be making some modifications to our work schedule here at DoIT. But for right now, I'm going to say we are on a 3-2, so 3 days remote and 2 days in the office.
Awesome. Thank you for that transparency, Jason. And the next question that we do have, individual asks, what do you anticipate in terms of openings, for cybersecurity analysts, threat analysts, digital forensic specialists, etc., in the future? Additionally, are there any specific skills, certs, or qualities that the state is looking for in applicants for these types of positions?
Right. So we are actively hiring in the cybersecurity area here at DoIT. I don't know. We just had one that closed about 3 weeks ago under cybersecurity for our SOC office that we were filling. We might have some additional ones that are getting ready to come online. We have a lot of folks that are, of course, retiring from the state. That's the reason for a lot of our openings. And also, as the state continues to evolve with technologies, we always are putting, additional positions online. I will tell you from an IT standpoint, and I did not put those slides in this presentation, but I mean, any certification allows us as an agency, we know that person has the knowledge and the skill set available. So, if you're dealing with, and I'm going to speak just on, on Cisco at this point, but if you have those Cisco certifications, like we have a couple positions posted right now with Cisco, that's great. That just tells us that you are qualified for the position. There's no questions asked, you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to do it. If you have that certification, that deems you, in the running for a position, if you will. We don't need further clarification for those roles. Hence why I think the state has kind of stepped away even from the point of testing on some of that stuff, because now there are some third parties out there that are willing to do, certifications, which allow us as employers, the state of Illinois being an employer, we can verify at that point or validate employment.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. And the next question that I do have here says, do you need quality analyst or just business analyst positions?
So we utilize analyst in a couple different roles or a couple different agencies within Dept. So there's a lot of analysts at Department of Revenue, Lottery, Illinois State Police just is in the process of hiring a couple business analysts over there. So, the analyst role, since we serve a lot of different agencies, different types of analysts, I guess, at different agencies. I know that is very broad, but we do hire analysts in different forms and fashions at different agencies based upon what type of data that they're utilizing. And sometimes, we utilize those analysts to help us make decisions on even, what computer software and, trying to solve issues within the software, if you will. So yes and yes, it depends upon what agency, I guess, if you will, where that analyst might fit in.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that, Jason. And the next question that I do have here is, do you anticipate any project management openings that would allow me to gain hours for my PMP certification?
So I believe right now we actually have something that's real close to a project manager position that's posted currently. So yes, there is right now a PIM engineering supervisor is currently listed, which is a project manager position that's currently listed on our website. So we do hire project managers here at the state quite frequently, actually. So that title has been posted over the course of probably the last month about 3 or 4 different times. So absolutely. And we just recently hired somebody that actually was certified with their PMP. So yes, just keep an eye out. I would go in if you're looking for, specific, that type of a role, set project manager possibly, or project in the job alert, and then highlight that you're looking for Department of Innovation and Technology. So then it would auto email those positions over to you. As you can imagine, with the state, we hire, we run so many different systems here. Like right now, Illinois State Police and Department of Corrections, they're hiring a couple folks, or they just hired a couple folks on some projects because some of their software is changing, or they're in the process of changing some software in those areas. So, again, if it was me, I would go in on that, a job alert. I would set up a job alert for Dept under the word project and let those funnel through you, funnel that way through, so you can take a look at them and see if there's a posting there.
Awesome. Thank you for the information there, Jason. Another question regarding potential positions. This individual asks that will be completing, their Google IT support certification in September and looking for a role in the IT support program. Do you have any openings in that field?
Is that one currently open too?
The top one, but not ISS option 2.
Okay. So we do have, information technology, communication system specialist 1. So it looks like we do have one opening now. So a little bit about, the process. So you're graduating, if we have any graduates that's on the line right now, or anyone that's going to be graduating in the future, I probably need to add this to our PowerPoint also. So if you are set to graduate, in May or December, you can start applying for positions with the state of Illinois 90 days before your graduation date. So if you're anticipating having that in, September and graduating in September, you can start applying for positions. I would be applying for positions actually now, because by the time it goes through the process, you will have obtained your degree. So anyone that, that's going to be graduating in December, you could start applying for positions September 1st with our agency. So just because of how long the process takes, under the line where it states, do you have an associate's degree or do you have a bachelor's degree? You're going to answer that question, yes. And then on the next line, you will put anticipated graduation date of December of 23. That would alert the reviewer at that point that you are in the process of attending school with a pending graduation date. Still attach your transcripts on there, but answer that question, yes, because you're in that 90-day window.
Awesome. Thank you for that information, Jason. And we'll keep moving here. Next question that I have is more of a generalized one. What is the average time from the application closing to hiring in the DOIT org?
Sure. So currently, I would say we're probably about 6 weeks out before you would hear something. And it really depends upon posting too. Like a merit comp posting, we don't have to check for bargaining unit rights. So if you're applying for a merit comp position, a lot of times you might hear something at 4 weeks of closing because it doesn't have to go through, and we don't have to look at every employee that maybe would have applied internally or externally to see if there's bargaining unit rights to that position. So if it's a merit comp position, I'm going to say 4 to 6 weeks. If it is a position that has bargaining unit rights and you're applying for something, that is a union position, I'm going to tell you 8 to 12 weeks probably before you would hear something from the state of Illinois.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Jason. Next question, and I think you touched on this a little bit during your presentation. But nevertheless, we'll ask it again. Is DOIT required to send a CMS 104 form to people who get selected for interviews?
Yeah, so, the state has done away with all those forms, the CMS 100, any of those forms they've done away with the forms. It's all electronic now. So, now just apply online. Through the application process. If something does require a form, a lot of times we will reach out to you and request. So if you're an internal employee and you're, going to be transferring, we would reach out to you and at that point request a transfer form or something along those lines. But if not, everything we're trying to move to electronic. So, we're trying to do away with forms. So anything electronic, we would, just apply online is the easiest way. No forms.
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. And the next question I do have here is, do you guys hire part-time or strictly full-time?
So from a full-time, I'm going to, full-time, we really don't have a lot. I've been here at the agency right at a year. I have not ever seen us post a part-time position. So our positions are full-time with the exception of, and it'll come online next year. We are going to hire student workers next year and intern positions next year over the summer. Those will be a part-time position, or they could be part-time positions. But as of right now, my answer is no. All of our positions are full-time. We'll cross that road probably March or April of next year, where we offer some part-time positions for students that might be working towards internships.
Excellent. Thank you for the information there, Jason. Continuing to move on here, looks like we've had some folks already submit applications for multiple positions. So that is great to hear. I did just want to also touch here today. Somebody asked about the recording. Yes, if you registered for the session today, which presumably you did, we will be sending that information over to you within 48 hours or so at the conclusion of this event. Let me take a look here. Just a lot of folks responding to questions that you answered. Give me just one moment. All right, so here's a good question as well. What's the difference between 1 and 2 position titles? like specialist 1 and specialist 2. Is there any insight you can lend there, Jason?
Yes. So
And just an FYI, Jason, looks like we're getting that connectivity issue rearing its head up again.
Was unstable.
You speak again briefly, Jason, just to see.
Hey, there
where
we
we're
go.
at.
I think we're
There
back.
you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
So ISS 1 and ISS 2, or an ISA 1 or an ISA 2. So those positions, I always tell people to apply for the 1s. Doesn't hurt to apply for the 2s. Every once in a while, we will post a 2 position. So, as you can imagine, with AFSCME, in our, the bargaining unit, many times when we post a 2, that's for that individual that's in that 1 role to be able to be promoted. So we will post that 2 position. So I know I've talked to some, to some individuals. I've been applying for positions, and I look and they're applying for all 2 positions, and they're not getting interviews, or they're not getting, any information from the state, or, they get a notification that, the position was already, taken over by somebody, or, somebody took that role. So though that would be contractual rights. So the easiest way to get your foot in the door is take an ISS 1 or an ISA 1. That's the easiest way to get in, because state of Illinois employees that are in those ISA 1s, they're applying for those 2s, and they have contractual rights for those positions. So again, doesn't hurt sometimes to apply for them, especially if it has a lot of specialized skills. If we're looking for somebody with lots of specialized skills, then it doesn't hurt to throw your name in the ring. But if you don't see a lot of specialized skills on that job posting, I would just apply for, 1s. That's your safest bet to get your foot in the door the quickest.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. And another good question here. Is there different health insurance tiers based on positions? You could probably even expand that question out and just kind of answer to the idea. Is there different benefits, I guess, for the different tiers of positions that you covered here today?
Yes, so there is not. All state of Illinois employees that are underneath the governor's jurisdiction are all offered the same benefits as, it's not dependent upon position or dependent upon agency. So it is, it's kind of an a la carte menu. There is some, of course, items that are, that cost additional money to purchase outside of your standard benefits that, that from cost from that standpoint, but it is kind of an a la carte. So, once a year you can make, adjustments to that, or, when you join the organization, you can elect to take certain items out in insurance, or, different benefits. But even going from, like a work-life balance, from maternity, paternity leave, those type of things, no, they're the same for all employees.
So thank you for clarifying that, Jason. I do have another question here. It looks like Nicole's also answering some of those in the chat. So thank you for that, Nicole. The next question that I have here says, I saw that training positions weren't open at this time. Is there an expected open date?
I'm going to say October. That's probably, we're doing some final work on that right now. And it's just, we're tying up some loose ends, if you will, on the actual training itself for that title. So some internal stuff. All the external stuff is already lined up with the institution and things along those lines. So, well, I'm going to say October. We hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe even a hiring event at some point, possibly in September for those titles. But more information, we will do a press release once that information does come out. We will release that to the general public, but it is, definitely in process.
Excellent. Lots of great information ground here covered today. Thank you so much for that, Jason. It looks like we don't have any additional questions in the chat. So folks, if you do have any last minute questions that you'd like to ask Jason, feel free to enter them into the chat now. Jason, I want to turn things back over to you to give kind of a summary statement of today's session. If there's any sort of general or key takeaway, if you will, that you want folks to take away from this session, things you'd like to highlight from the presentation, anything of that nature, feel free to do so now.
Sure. No, I appreciate that very much. And thank you, Daniel, for hosting me. I apologize that we had a little bit of some technical issues during the event. I can't say that it was the weather or anything like that. Maybe it was too hot out here in Springfield. I don't know. But we do, and I appreciate everybody joining this afternoon and to learn a little bit more about Do It. But I'm here to assist in the process. Nicole is also here to assist in the process when you're looking for positions with Do It. I'd ask that if connect with us on LinkedIn. We post all of our positions on LinkedIn. You might even have a friend or somebody that you could share a position that maybe isn't the right fit for you, to share those positions out to additional folks within your network. And probably my biggest takeaway is when you see positions and you have that knowledge, skills, and abilities, to make sure that you apply. I talk to individuals sometimes that say, I applied for 1 or 2 positions and I kind of stopped the process. So and goes back to, I applied for, I think, 14 positions before I got hired with the state of Illinois. And, and sometimes it's, I was applying for the wrong positions, if you will. I was applying for those 2s because I liked the salary for those positions. They were better than the 1. But, when I quickly applied for a 1 position, then I got my foot in the door and was able to promote and was able to grow with the state of Illinois. So don't get discouraged. Apply for those positions that are good fits for you. And once you get here, glow. And you can be promoted and advance. And the state of Illinois has lots of great programs, from software to hardware. The nice thing is, once you would get here, if you're currently doing something and you want to do something else within our agency or within the IT sector, it allows you that versatility to move to other areas in the agency and even further develop your skill set even further. So but I appreciate everyone's time this afternoon. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. Feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions. Same goes for, Nicole. We're both here to help. This week, we're going to be in Marion, Illinois tomorrow, and then we're in Bolingbrook on Thursday at IDES offices and those locations, just out promoting positions with the state of Illinois. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jason. And thank you, Nicole, as well, for being on the session here today, being open, transparent, answering questions. Much appreciated. Just a few things that we want to go ahead and note before we close out the session here today. Again, I will be uploading the recording here to the Illinois workNet YouTube channel within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. So you'll be able to access the recording there. Additionally, when you registered for the event, answered all those questions on the form, we of course capture that information on the back end. So I will be forwarding that information over to Jason and Nicole, again, within that 48-hour time frame. So they'll have that contact information to be able to follow up with you. And it sounds like Jason and Nicole have both been forthright as well with their contact information for you to reach out to them as well. So make sure you copy that down and reach out with any questions that you do have directly to them. With that, we'll go ahead and close out the session here today. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.